Here we go. This should start us fresh. So here we see our heroine with her sword. That isn't her sword yet, but it has just stabbed her lover.
Hey, Red. We're not gonna get away with this, are we? Come on, pull. There. Together again. Sort of. Well?
So we're gonna look into this.
What a night. You're still in one piece. That's all that matters.
These are the OBC terminals. We're not going to be using these yet. Because right now we've got...
Can't feel a thing.
So there's his dead body. This early, we don't really know who he is or what he's doing.
Found us already. They want you back, I bet.
This is tutorial. Just to show you how to fight these guys. This is how you manually fight them.
Nice. Okay, let's go. Unmarked alley. East of the bay. I think I know where we are.
Press 2 to use breach. Pause real quick to fix my mouse settings so that I have all of my everything I need on my mouse, which I should do. Okay. Okay, perfect.
More of these creeps. Look, don't fret, just...
So now I'm learning the how to fight the process. So we'll start here. We're going to crash that. Let's do a breach on that.
Do something. Ready.
Okay, so again. Pick up the cells or else they'll respawn, and we're clear. So what are those things? What are we doing? What is this huge fucking sword, and why can I pause time to fight anything?
Hey,
this
up
is
there.
what we're going to learn. Oh, and why is my boyfriend dead?
Hello, world. Look at all that. We're on the edge of town, 100 blocks away.
Another example of these beautiful graphics.
There's the empty set. Still too close to it.
Just a gorgeous,
We better get as far from there as
hand-painted
possible.
game. It's just so meticulous.
Come on. block party up ahead. Here we go.
So before we head to the block party, we are blocked. Okay, great. So I'm going to use Breach and try and get as many of these as possible.
Get out of here.
Now we notice there's a body on the floor
Is she
here.
awake?
Let's talk to
Hi.
her and see.
You okay? I see. Sure. She wants to come along. We can use her.
So now I have a new ability called Spark,
Intersection.
which means that
Let's see.
I have this amazing AoE. But what is it? Why is this shit in my sword? Who was that? And this
Which
is where... Oh, this
Cover your
isn't it.
tracks.
So all the way through, there's these OVC terminals, and you can get an idea for what this city is. We're in the city of Cloud Bank, and they know that I'm red up here. User authenticated, welcome red. So, tomorrow's forecast. Tomorrow is another day in Cloud Bank. How would you like it? And then we show the ballot. Which climate is more
Rain's
to your
not even on
liking?
the ballot.
Which climate is more to your liking? Warm, clear, light breeze, or mild, scattered clouds? And we have the little graphic for the weather controller. And then let's say warm, clear, light breeze. Thank you for voting.
Warm and clear, second place.
So all
Where
throughout,
were we?
there's going to be options to interact with the former communication method of this city. So we've got Spark now, so we're going to utilize it. I'm going to go ahead and use it here, here, here. I'm going to drop in a breach, or a crash, I should say. We'll come over here. Oh, and that's going to be it.
Gross. No
All right,
problem.
easy enough. So, yeah, those are just little babby
Let's
cells.
see what else.
And then we know that she's gone. That was the body that we just... So, one of the clever things they did, but also slightly confusing, is that to get around, these buildings do block sometimes. And so, if you're not missing anything, the
Bank
buildings
Fashion
aren't
Week
hiding
not
any
happening.
surprises when they're blocking like that. So, Cloud Bank Fashion Week, City of Cloud Bank. Your presence will make the 67th annual Fashion Week an unforgettable experience. Posted by Sybil Rice, event planner. Sybil, we're going to meet a little later.
3 days this
Here's
time.
Sybil right here. So, we cordially invite you to our 67th 3-day extravaganza. And you heard him say 3 days this time. Cloud Bank's popular tradition will be at its most spectacular with your support. Event size 8 square blocks, Goldwalk Boulevard through Halcyon Street. Featuring more than 275 local and exotic brands. Space is limited, so please reply soon so we know to expect you. See you there. RSVP requested. So let's do RSVP.
Maybe next year.
And Red responds, I think you're going to want to reschedule. R. Thank you for your response, and it responds with, and you can sign out. Basically, this city fell apart with all of these things still in tow. Everything sort of changed when...
Hey, end of the plaza. It's you.
And here's where we start to see what happens.
I'm so sorry, Red. They took your voice. I couldn't stop them. Well, we took something of theirs. Hey, let's just go.
Getting bored.
So I stepped into the process. We're gonna go ahead and do but she teleports. So this time I think a couple breaches are gonna be what I need. Yeah. We'll go 3, 3.
Now. She trying to trick us? Finally. Oh.
So she respawns lots of cells, so now we have to go after these bad cells. I'm just gonna breach them all, so... Oh, yeah. So, let's do... And we should be all set.
Okay. Side street due east. Through there. I think I know a place we could get a ride. This didn't used to be here.
So we know that if we hold that open,
Wait a sec.
and so this one we can get through, but then the other one opens up, right? So we have to figure out a way to have them both open at the same time. We can use our process to do that. So here, and then again here. A little further on, and then that should do it. That should clear it right up.
Pretend that never happened.
And we have a body, Moyle, comma, P.
Hey, Mr. Moyle, you in there? It's him, all right, but I can barely hear him.
So we now have a jaunt skill that we got from Mr. Moyle, who's laying there on the ground. As with the last body, we saw a box come out of it with a soul, and it got absorbed into the sword. So for jaunt, we're going to... It's pretty nice skill. Uses a lot of energy.
Go where it suits you, right?
But that's how you use it.
Oh no.
Alright, now we've got our first mini-boss.
Come on then, tough guy.
So we'll go 4, 2, 2. And we've got a little space left, so I'm going to add...
Let's go.
Oh, and I'm backstabbing because it actually makes it a lot easier to kill. So, we jaunt here. Let's do that again. Jaunt here. Come back this way. 2. 2. Let's go back 1. Have a better idea. 3. 2. 3. Alright, process is loaded again, so we're gonna go Or, unfortunately, we're gonna have to go straight into the face, but we should be okay. Just realized I had a better idea. If we go, yeah. So if we breach on the creep twice, we'll overkill them both.
Jerk.
And
Back where they belong.
there we go. All clear.
Hey.
So now we're at a new level. We have a few options, or a couple options here for new functions. I haven't discovered if there's a build that makes a lot of sense. I may not be playing this game thoroughly enough, but I find that all of the functions have really great use. And as we get down the road, you'll see what I'm talking about. But right now we start with, we've got the bounce function, which is probably my favorite because it's an attack where it hits your first target and then it bounces to your next target. And then when you pair that with some of the other things out there, you can do some amazing kills. The other thing here we have is a mask function. It conceals you, like it stealths you, which is kind of nice further down the road. But right now we're just going to mess with the bounce because our health is good, we're strong, and since I already know how to play the game, I'm a little better than the tutorial itself.
We're still here.
So, this is our first little access point.
Okay, you're in.
So we have this sword, and this is where we learn that we've got this setup utility. Here we have all of our functions that the sword has. So, right, and then if you go to, let's say you go to, let's select function, choose a function to upgrade. So you can use this bounce to upgrade any of these functions by putting it in these slots. And you hear, when you read through these, it tells you what it can do. So for example, I'm actually going to put it right here, but what it does is spark plus bounce. If you add bounce to spark, it gives you a base damage right here for the spark and everything, and then it adds a benefit of, then it'll jump once. The spark will jump to a nearby enemy. So this, if you recall, the spark itself has a blast effect, and it has a wide area of effect. So then you're going to bounce that again to someone else, and then kill everything in its sight. So this is really great for big groups. I'm going to install it now.
Good.
And then it's
Just
not
one more block.
allowing me
I want to show you something.
to access lore yet, it looks like. Yeah, right now I don't get to do the lore stuff, so I'll get into that at the next access point. But basically, these functions are coming from the bodies. That's how much we know so far. And that the bodies have those cubes inside them, and the cubes talk to our sword, who happens to have...
Okay, there's a... Wait. Back.
Have the soul of that guy in him. So his name is Jerk. And we're going to go ahead and jaunt here. Breach.
Not yet. Get away from it.
Okay, so I'm gonna breach that. And let's go with that. Oh, I'm out of range for that. Let's get out. So let's go 3. 3. And then I want to breach it.
Here he comes.
So I'm gonna go, let's see. 1, 2. Oh yes, I'm gonna combo now that I can combo. Okay, so let's backstab you.
You still hear me?
So now we'll go to...
They're gone, but so's this whole block.
After every fight, it's always good to stop at an action. It's always good to stop at one of these things because it'll save. And then we'll go ahead and
good call.
head in. Perfect.
That's our way out.
So, if you go this way, there's not really much.
About that bike.
Yeah, he wants you to take the bike.
Okay.
We're gonna take the bike.
64 on ramp. 5 blocks down. Take the second right. Do not turn left. And thanks for the lift.
He's telling us where to go to escape. However, here's what we learn.
Hi. You turn left. Thought we were gonna skip town. We're going back there. You met these things. They do not have a sense of humor. They will track you down, wipe you out, and take whatever's left of me back to those 2-bit Camerata pieces of trash. Look, whatever you're thinking, do me a favor. Don't let me go.
So she's deciding to hunt down the people who took her voice.
Poor bike. Just 10 more blocks to the set.
And we're gonna land in a process right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and...
Get behind something. They were waiting. Thought we made good time, too.
Junction Jan's is a bar.
Not a soul. Hardly recognize this place without the foot traffic.
There are these little lore stops like that that give you some...
Fertile ground. Terminal still up. Must be starving.
Hungry? Grab a bite. Satisfy your craving with a complimentary Junction Jan's gourmet flatbread. Show off her.
Sea Monster's really the only choice here.
So you can choose Supremo Deluxe, Harvest Garden, Sea Monster, or Mystery Jan's. He said Sea Monster. I'm gonna go with Mystery Jan's.
Or that. Just have to get back to your place before it gets cold.
One Mystery Jan's coming right up. Thanks for your order. Your meal will be delivered to your address in 8 minutes. Have a good one, JJ.
They're hungry too. Left ourselves open for some mystery flatbread. Never seen Gold Walk cleared out.
Okay, so we have the ability to inspect it now. So you can get an idea what this all is. So first off, crash. Inspect.
You got on the camera on a short list. More than just a name to them now.
This is Red. This is who you're playing as, and this is who the initial function comes from. So, ranked in the top percentile of Cloudbank's contemporary performing artists for 5 years, Red demonstrated early interest in music despite studying at Traverson Hall. Or maybe it's Traverson. Traverson groomed many of the city's most ambitious civic planners, though Red spent the majority of her time developing in the Academy's Nation Arts program and was the first on record to select 2 non-traditional disciplines. Records indicate that she was reluctant to explain, citing personal reasons. She remained reticent even after gaining the spotlight, and when asked about her past influences, she would often say her work spoke for itself. She did admit, however, that she never wrote her music with the intent to stir controversy. So now we know she's a singer, and we know that she's lost her voice. She studied music and linguistics. She didn't indicate a reason why. And looks like her trace status is intact. Under details, it tells you what it does as an active slot effect and an upgrade slot effect. And so you can read these as necessary. And then it tells you, if you go to upgrades, it tells you what it does to each one, or what each one of these will do if you use it to upgrade that particular piece. So we have a decryption process in the bottom right hand corner, and as we unlock more information, it'll open up. We unlock it by using it as an upgrade, and we also unlock it by using it let's see, so as a main, as an upgrade, and then I can't recall the third part of the decryption process, but I'll figure it out pretty quick. But as you unlock these pieces, you get more information about the person the ability came from. So we have Red, who we're playing as. Now Breach must be...
You've reached the hopefully not permanent address of Mr. Nobody.
This is the man talking to us from the sword. He was the bodyguard / lover that was killed by the sword, and he got sucked right into it. No age, no gender, no selections, because he's not in... he never picked a course of study, reasons cited, still figuring things out, and his trace status is non-recoverable because he's dead. Function derived from contact with subject, it says. Background error, subject background data corrupted during integration, reason unknown. And so the other thing is maybe there's a possibility that he is somebody of interest, but he's just not showing up in the data banks because the data got corrupted. So here are the details and the upgrades for this one as well. The next ability we have is Spark. We'll go ahead and expect
Lillian
that.
Platt used to run the OVC. Said she left for personal reasons.
So Lillian Platt, he said, used to run the OVC. That's what those terminals are all over the place, and that she no longer does. Age 33, gender female, and she studied physics and negotiation. Her reasons cited were problem solving, and she's integrated into the sword completely. The function that we got is from her, and what it says is, she's one of the preeminent scientific minds in Cloudbank. Ms. Lillian Platt was the youngest ever individual to be elected as chairwoman of the OVC board. Under her leadership, the number of OVC terminals in Cloudbank more than doubled, and the quality of the broadcast strengthened more than fourfold. However, she became the youngest ever individual to leave the post, as she tendered a resignation in less than 2 years to pursue extracurricular interests. In private conversations, several of her former colleagues indicated that Ms. Platt left following the sudden disappearance of a close personal friend, Mr. Maximilius Darcy, who, according to official OVC transcripts, decided one day to move to the country. So Mr. Darcy is going to be significant, and that's good to know. So next, we have our jaunt.
Preston Moyle. Guess he went out joyriding one night and never came back.
Preston Moyle he's a famous race car driver, I believe, but we're going to go through that in just a second. So, age 29, his selections were reflexes and machinery because he wants to go fast and go far. He's integrated into the sword as well. Cloudbank's racing circuit never knew the likes of Preston Moyle, who shattered speed records with aplomb for 4 years straight. Credited with popularizing the sport of 1200cc racing, Mr. Moyle gained celebrity not merely for his exceptional riding ability, but also because he built his motorbikes with his own hands. Ever the thrill seeker, Mr. Moyle became known for seeking out Cloudbank's remotest strips of road. Then one day Mr. Moyle was altogether gone, having left all of his personal effects behind, save for his fastest bike. So he took off at the second he could. We'll learn more, again, as we upgrade. And then finally we have the Bounce, who is from...
It's Nyla. Everybody said she split after Goldwalk Channel opened up.
So Nyla's specialties are empathy and politics, because everyone deserves the best. And she was one who would have difficulty finding a more active or outspoken member of the community of Cloudbank's Goldwalk district as Ms. Nyla Chain. She allotted more than 66% of her available time on activities such as passing ordinances to improve underdeveloped regions, reaching out to educating habitual non-voters, or advocating for groups lacking adequate representation. Her motives were rarely questioned, as her love for the district was in fact sincere, stemming from positive early experiences that grew to become fierce nostalgia. Miss Chain did not have her detractors, however, and this became very clear at the opening she arranged for the Goldwalk Channel. Now, if you notice, we got this piece of background first because we got it as an upgrade as opposed to a starting. So what we'll do is we'll start upgrading some items. I will go ahead and go back. And we're going to remove all of the installed. Excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead, and we know we want more information here. So let's select this and install it here. So once we start using it, we'll unlock the encryption on that to get more information about Nyla Chain. And I want more information on red. So crash is nice to have, but I'm going to go ahead and allow the bounce to disrupt. So we'll get more information on red as well. And then we'll go ahead and install the rest as normal. Okay, we're all set. So now, once we use the function, we'll be able to get some more information about Nyla and also about red.
Trouble.
Alright, so we're gonna go breach. We're not gonna go breach, I wanna go back. I wanna go over here. I'm going to breach.
Popping up like weeds.
Let's go.
scream's getting fixed. You're up. Just passing through.
Okay, so we've cleared the area and we have another...
See.
Here we go. We leveled up. We can take load. Load. Form a volatile packet. Strike packet to produce a large blast. It's kind of cool. It's like it puts a little explodey on the ground and then it explodes when you hit it. Or this is a hypnotizing function, which is also neat. Alter a target's allegiance, which I'm going to go ahead and use, and it causes it to serve the user. The reason I'm going to use this is because coming up we're going to get some bots that I really like to turn to my advantage, and you'll see why. And then now let's go to the access point. Let's see if we have some information on our upgrade. Let's look at Nyla first. So we have opened up the next decryption, the channel. Looks like she opened a place called the Channel that is a historical. It's historically relevant to this. So, the Channel was to be a gallery space of sorts designated to showcase eclectic works from those pursuing non-standard vocations that traditionally held little share. Instead, Miss Chain found herself accused of stirring unrest by causing attention to the meritless perspectives of undeserving of notice. The group accosting her was angry for 17 different reasons in total, including how the Channel edged out a competing vote for a metro station that would have bridged the gap from Goldwalk to the neighboring high-rise in one short ride. Miss Chain publicly lost her composure on this particular incident, which would have escalated further if not for several individuals who stood in her defense. They later offered their support with any such matters in the future. She agreed to meet with them, not realizing who they were. Basically, she was trying to showcase for the people, right? It was like a gallery for the people, and because the people who were traditionally not empowered, people who didn't know they could vote, people that didn't have the education because of her work were learning these things. Groups that relied on the fact that those people didn't vote were particularly upset. We'll learn more about that, but we've seen this before IRL. So this is a reflection of that story. And then we've got some new information on Red. So we've got the background, career. To appreciate the impact of Red's music, consider the first current state of Cloudbank's social climate and how it evolved over the past 2 decades. When an altercation finally erupted in the crowd during one of her performances, it was the first such incident in 4 years. It escalated to the point where administrators were summoned to the scene as one of the suspects was banned from the premises. He accused Red of being an instigator and a provocateur. Later, Red stated it was in this moment that she fully understood the potent effect her music had on people. She decided to take certain precautions from that point, receding from the spotlight to compose new material in relative privacy. Rumors swirled, then she once again reemerged, and trouble followed, which is what's going to lead us to why Red is where she is today. And finally, we have the heart function, which I'm going to inspect.
Nobody changed the sky like Yondale. Why her?
So Yondale, her specializations are meteorology and chemistry, and she is the reason why the weather is something you can vote on. The sky looks blue because we want it to. She created the system, essentially the weather system that we voted on in the beginning. And so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to put this on, my breach. Because I'm going to utilize it in a couple of fights coming up.
Ready here. Get ready to get jumped. Or not. Let's not stick around. Got some kind of cheerleader.
So see this, he's calling it a cheerleader. The process hasn't renamed it yet, but it's going to be called a cheerleader. So I'm going to take the breach, and I'm going to shoot the cheerleader with it. So then I'm going to switch it so that it's my pal, and then we're going to go ahead and then I will go 4 to here. No, that's not what I want. So, by switching it, it's now protecting me, and I'm able to go after these. Wait. So let's go with...
Now to mop up.
Alright, let's clean everything up.
I guess we're done here.
And we're done. And my child is over here telling me he would like breakfast, I'm guessing? I had a feeling. Do you want to say hello to everybody? No? Well, since it is time for me to make breakfast for this adorable little creature and also get ready for work, I'm going to end right here. Meaning I'm going to save... Okay, mister, stop talking, please. Meaning I'm going to go ahead and...
Looks promising. Maybe not for your knees.
How the heck do I get out? That would be how. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this here. Let's see what we got, by the way, about our Farah. So Farah, remember, she's the weather girl. She was Cloudbank's first ever sky painter, someone who took the everyday occasion of the ever-changing sky and made it an art of it. She worked for the pleasure of thousands who remembered they once took the sky for granted. Ms. Yondale gained a significant following as she transformed the skies around the city, and her skill and popularity grew side by side. She started taking requests. One such request came from her heart. She was drawn to the district of Goldwalk, where her suitor lived, and there she would change the horizon to shimmering sapphire for the solstice, and for their and everyone's sake. This was when her art became a liability. So Goldwalk got special attention from essentially the sky painter. They got better weather. They got more beautiful art, so to speak, and that became a problem. So that said, and Goldwalk again is the district where the people who weren't voting were, and they were the most disadvantaged district of Cloud Bank because they didn't have the same benefits, and these are the people that suddenly were going to be paid attention to. So I think this is a great spot to stop. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.